Ubisoft still has some secret games coming in their new financial year, which runs from now till the end of March 2023. Like, sure, we know about Skull and Bones, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, and the Mario plus Rabbids game. And these are all planned, by the way, for a release between October 2022 and March 2023, with Skull and Bones maybe up first, but more on that in a moment. The Avatar 2 movie trailer got more views in 24 hours than any Star Wars movie trailer, so really, if Ubisoft nails the game, then it could be really big. But again, it doesn't stop there. There are more premium games coming that have not been revealed yet. This was during their recent financial call a few days ago.
Yes, we indeed said that we have other premium games to be released in the later, so that there will be stronger premium games. But we will come back to our fans and players at a later stage.
So, strong sellers, okay, I want to go over what I think these secret games will be and other insights from their financial presentation, including what they got planned for the coming 12 months. So I tend to go over, of course, if you enjoy the content here on the channel, then leaving a like on the video would really help me out, thanks a lot. And let's go. But first, the sponsor of this video, Dislight, a brand new, very stylish, urban, mythological RPG by Lilith Games from AFK Arena, for example, a mobile game that I played a lot. So they're just launching Dislight, which immediately caught my eyes thanks to the awesome graphics and art style. I also like the focus on music to make it more stylish, but it's especially the characters that steal the show. They're namely all inspired by one of the 4 mythologies, like the Egyptian mythology. Yes, Anubis is totally my favorite character so far, and there are also characters based on the Norse mythology, the Greek mythology, and the Chinese mythology, all with their own abilities and stats. They're also known as the most badass gods ever. So the idea is that you make your team explore the city, fight enemies, including mythical bosses, in high-paced, turn-based combat, focused on the speed of your characters to outplay the enemy. You can also battle teams of other players online. I really can't wait to jump in myself, and you can start your mythical urban adventure right now as well via the special link in the video description. Totally also use the promo code JOINTHISLIGHT to receive some awesome extra items. I want to thank Lilith Games for sponsoring the video, makes everything we do here happen, and now let's get back into it.
Dislight.
Let's start with Skull and Bones and the fact that it got rated in South Korea, meaning that it will launch soon. For comparison, Assassin's Creed Valhalla got rated in September before the release in November, and Far Cry 6 got rated in July and launched in early October. And yeah, Ubisoft likes that early October spot, looking at Ghost Recon Breakpoint and Assassin's Creed Odyssey that also launched around that time. I think it's because it can then perfectly go on sale during Black Friday more than a month later. So maybe this is also where Skull and Bones will strand, which would also be perfect for some Game Pass money from Microsoft. As you maybe already heard, they delayed Starfield and Redfall to 2023. So they're really lacking a big title for the end of the year. And even last year with Halo and Forza, they still paid big money for Back 4 Blood Day 1 on the service. So I could see them do that again for Skull and Bones. They of course did it early in the year for Rainbow Six Extraction as well. Ubisoft at least doesn't seem to expect a lot from the launch of Skull and Bones, but is banking on the fact that it will earn like a nice profit over time, comparable to For Honor that is still being supported after 5 years and is actually still growing. It's by the way also on Game Pass, so I really think it will happen, and this could mean that we finally see that Skull and Bones re-revealed during the Microsoft Showcase on June 12th, so then I can also finally show new gameplay in my videos instead of this old 2018 footage. And maybe we see the next Assassin's Creed in June too, because yes, I totally think that Rift is one of the unannounced premium games that Ubisoft has planned. This smaller, stealth-focused title where we play Basim was, for example, already leaked many times by credible insiders, and we see the actor behind Basim in a motion capture suit very often. And here someone in the comments says, I've got my fingers crossed for more Assassin's Creed. And he liked the comment. It's one of the only comments he liked. Okay, maybe I'm going a bit too far here, but I do think it all lines up. And Enrico, we see here, might also play a part in, again, this more stealth-focused game in Baghdad. There's more going on though, because in April we learned that Assassin's Creed Origins should arrive in the next 2 months for Game Pass on cloud, console and PC. So you see the games that are going to hit Game Pass in May right here. no Origins, so it has to be June. And this could also be when we finally see that 60 FPS update for PS5 and Xbox Series consoles, which we know Ubisoft was already working on. Now, I already talked about something similar a while back on a podcast with Marco from Access the Animus and Andy Reloads, which should be up soon, like follow my social media to be up to date when that goes live. Here I noted that we of course don't know the roadmap beyond May for Valhalla, but that they could drop the second Tombs of the Fallen, which without spoiling too much also has links to Origins. And Steph13 on Reddit thought the same and made a big post about it. Also about how we could see a crossover event with new content in Origins, because the actress behind Amunet was also spotted in a motion capture suit, just like Milisanti Mahut, of course, behind Cassandra. Now let's not expect it, because that would of course be pretty wild if it happens. But let's not forget that it's also the 15th year anniversary of Assassin's Creed in November, so high chance that Ubisoft at least has something special planned. And I think Rift is somehow part of it, but they could also first want to talk about a mythical DLC for Valhalla, which was also teased before they even show Rift. So I could see that also happen. I'll of course keep you posted here. What they once again said though is that we should expect new high quality Assassin's Creed content every year, so every financial year. This could be a new game or a Dawn of Ragnarok style expansion. They're also once again really happy with Valhalla. It's the second biggest profitable game for them behind Rainbow Six Siege, and they also keep saying that Odyssey was a massive success. Overall, the Assassin's Creed franchise made well over 300 million euro in the last 12 months without a new game, so that's really big. And the same was by the way the case for Far Cry and Rainbow Six, although those franchises of course did launch new games with Far Cry 6 and Rainbow Six Extraction. But yeah, it was the first time ever that all three brands made that much money in the same time window, and Ubisoft plans to expand these franchises even more to increase that 300 million number, and one way will be mobile. Like, we might actually see that this is a Assassin's Creed mobile game this year, or otherwise I'm sure it will be 2023. And if that Rainbow Six mobile game is any indication, then this could actually be pretty big, as Rainbow Six Mobile looks really solid for an Android and iOS game. And also Diablo Immortal that's launching soon basically looks like Diablo 3 but on your phone. So maybe this Assassin's Creed mobile game could surprise us in a positive way. I at least hope so. And yeah, real quick, next to the mobile game for Rainbow Six, they will also be supporting Extraction more, and of course got a ton of stuff planned for Siege. But what about Far Cry as their other biggest brand? We actually don't know anything official that is coming now that the Far Cry 6 support is over, but I would not be surprised if that was the other premium game they mentioned, as we of course always get a spin-off title after a mainline Far Cry game. And Primal and New Dawn all launched 1 year after Far Cry 4 and Far Cry 5 respectively, so maybe we see a new Far Cry game this year already. I think it's gonna be where we play Vaas and be in Yara, and I went more in depth on why I think that in a previous video. I will link to that at the end of this one. Like, I could see Michael Mondo announce that during the show with Jeff Keighley, as last year he got Giancarlo Esposito to showcase new Far Cry 6 stuff. We also saw Far Cry New Dawn announced at the Game Awards, also with Jeff Keighley. Maybe there's more going on. A mobile Far Cry game seems inevitable, as well as even Division is of course also getting a mobile game. And I still think that QR code in Far Cry 6 that leads to a teaser is for a free-to-play multiplayer, maybe PvPvE game, also set in the Far Cry universe, where we fight each other, but also have to watch out for animals that will hunt us down as well. And what is crazy is that another new free-to-play Ubisoft game got leaked, Wild Arena Survivor. They are testing it right now. It's a 40-player battle royale with multiple characters. Yes, it got animals to kill. Again, you fight against other players, it's on an island setting. I really envisioned the QR code game to be like this, but this doesn't seem to be Far Cry related. I actually played a few rounds. It's pretty decent, just like this light that's of course sponsoring the video and other games I promote here. I do like mobile games in between things here and there. So this Wild Arena Survivor game is available in a few countries right now and will of course launch properly soon. Just like Roller Champions, with a leak from Lumia on Twitter saying saying that it's gonna be available on May 25th, looking at private data on the Xbox Store. And Ubisoft themselves also confirmed that it's gonna launch Q2 of this year. But also XDeviant and Division Heartland are in the final stages of development from the sounds of it, so they could launch soon as well, with the Division 2 of course just starting its 9th season this week, which was always the plan, to have both the free and paid game like kind of operate at the same time. And we also have the free Ghost Recon Frontline, but that got delayed big time. Like, don't expect that game anytime soon because they got really poor feedback from recent playtests. So I think Assassin's Creed Rift as one of the unannounced premium games is almost certain. The Far Cry game is kind of 50-50. It's more like a theory right now. It hasn't leaked anywhere. We also have The Crew 3 that is rumored, so that could be one of the premium titles that will of course just find an audience. We seemingly get a new Prince of Persia game that takes inspiration from Ori and will be 2.5D. This could also be one of the premium games because it's not announced yet. While Prince of Persia Sands of Time Remake was first planned to launch in the next 12 months, but they switched developers to Ubisoft Montreal. So there will likely be some time before we see it again. It was also not mentioned during the investor call at all. Beyond Good and Evil 2 also not mentioned at all. It's of course also not unannounced. But there is a rumored Immortal sequel in the works, but I also doubt that they will launch that 2 years after the original. So yeah, while it might be like pretty bare bones at first, I think Ubisoft is gonna launch quite a lot of games in the next 12 months. I hope they can surprise us. I think that Far Cry game would of course be quite a surprise if it actually happens with vaas. I think that could be pretty cool. When we know more, I'll of course let you know here, so totally subscribe to not miss any Ubisoft gaming news or just gaming news in general, Assassin's Creed news. Again, check out this light via the link in the video description. That supports the channel a lot as well. Really having a lot of fun with the game, and you can check out my previous video on that Far Cry vaas rumor by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.